9 steps from going to poverty to wealth. Here's a secret that all truly wealthy people have mastered. Anyone can get rich. The hard part is figuring out how to never be poor again. You constantly see people get lucky, strike it big in what was supposed to be forever money, and 5 years later they're struggling. Here are 9 steps to never be poor. Step 1. Decide that you'll never be poor again. I know it's easy to brush this off as something trivial, but it isn't. Every time you have to make a decision, ask yourself, will this make me poor or will it make me rich? And if there isn't a clear way that your decision will lead to an increase in income, then it's a liability. This is why this process is considered hard for some people. Financial success is basically choosing long-term over the short-term. I know it feels great when people notice you're doing well, but do you know what feels even better? Not ever having to worry about money ever again. Once the decision is made and you start going toward this goal, it's just a matter of moving forward until you get it. Step 2. Break down your situation into what's making you money and what's costing you money. You got out of poverty and now you're doing way better than anyone expected you to do. In their eyes, you're a success and you think you can slow down. We said it last time and we'll say it again. You didn't come this far just to come this far. Yes, celebrate because you managed to put food on the table that previously didn't have any. Now it's time to make sure there will always be food when you need it. Once again, break every financial aspect of your life down, but split them into 2. What costs me money and what makes me money? This is a good time to also add the money numbers next to it. In terms of what makes you money, this is where you add your job or your business. Write down how much you earn per month and an estimate to what you earn per year. Next to it, add here any other revenue stream you have. Maybe you are getting some benefits, royalties, rent or so on. Put them in this column. Once you're done with what's making you money, it's time to break down what's costing you. The house you live in goes here. If you're renting, it's obvious that's costing you money, but also if you simply live in it, you're paying for utilities, maintenance, etc. Figure out how much living in your home is costing you. Do the same for your car, your subscriptions. These include health and medical insurance, your hobbies and more. The most important one to look out for is debt. How much debt do you have? Write it all down and then take a step back and look at the list. Your goal now is to bring those numbers on the left down and increase the numbers on the right. Pretty simple. How? Well, let's see how we can make that happen. Step 3. Close down the money pits. On every list there are a couple of things that are costing you way too much money, at least for the return you're getting. These are your immediate focus. Everything you do now is focused on ridding yourself of money pits such as debt. Be careful not to create new ones in the process. There are 2 ways to have more money at the end of the month than you currently have. One is to increase your income and maintain your expenses as the same, resulting in you having more money left after expenses, and 2, cutting your expenses in order to never be poor again. You'll actually be required to do both. This is why you're only going to go after the money pits, those where you feel like your life would be better if you didn't have these recurring payments taking all the fun out of life. A common mistake people make is they believe cutting out a coffee or clipping coupons or showering less will make them rich because they are saving a bit of money. A penny saved isn't a penny earned, it's just a penny, and nobody gets a wealthy saving pennies. Every time you close down a money pit, you are immediately richer because of it. Close down the money pits and don't bother yourself with the rest. Once you've got that done, it's time to make the switch. Step 4. Focus exclusively on increasing income. From this point on, all your efforts are about bringing in more money. Figure out who's got your money and figure out how you can get some of it, and repeat. Fundamentally, there are 3 ways to increase your income. 1. Volume. Increase the volume of work. This one got you out of poverty, but since you have only 24 hours in a day and can't use them all to work, nor should you, by the way, this one will not make you rich long term. Repeat after me. As long as you are trading time for money, you will never be rich. 2. Specialization. This means you're able to provide the service or product you're currently selling for a higher price because the quality of the outcome is higher. This allows you to charge more money. It's a great step that gets the long term results. The more you learn, the more you earn. 3. Horizontal. This is where you can attach other products or forces to your current offering in order to maximize the amount of money you bring in from each customer. That's why every car wash is also selling you those car air fresheners. As so long as you're disciplined and have your expenses under control, the threat of poverty is just a money problem. And you know what solves money problems? That's right, money sales solves everything. Sell more, charge more, and you're on the way up. Step 5. Incorporate. When things are rolling, it's time to become a business. Don't fear the bureaucracy or the unknown elements of setting up an LLC or a corporation. These days everything can be done online. You'll be up and running in no time. The biggest lie you've been told growing up was that people get rich by working high-paying jobs. No, that's never been the case. In order to be wealthy, you need to own things that increase in value over time, like a business, property, parts of other people's businesses, Bitcoin, so on. Incorporating allows you to do just that, to own a business. Businesses are treated differently than individuals. They have different rules in place that help them keep more and more money, so they grow. The business is a different entity than you are, and as we found out when we discussed business structures, businesses get rich quicker than individuals. Because you own the rich business, you're also rich. Almost all wealthy individuals out there don't have their fortunes and stacks of money lying around their home. They are not playing Instagram pretend games. Instead, they own businesses that are worth fortunes in and of themselves if there's enough demand for it. At some point, we'd like to do a course that walks you through step by step everything you need in order to incorporate a business in the US from anywhere in the world, and even curate some services that will help you get everything done smoothly. But we'll wait and see. Step 6. Pay yourself first. Here's where things get intuitive. For most poor people, pay their bills first. Rich people pay themselves first. The thing about a poor person's process is they pay their bills and never get to paying themselves anything. You're not meant to just pay your bills until you die, right? This is where having a business really becomes valuable. With businesses being taxed differently, you can afford to pay yourself first and have additional capital. You become a deductible expense and the business takes care of the bills for you. This money should immediately go toward investments of any sort. We strongly recommend you automate the process so that money leaves your personal account automatically. Personally, it goes into our index funds and crypto investments. This is what they mean when you hear others say you have your wealth creation on autopilot. The thing is, you can never do this unless you pay yourself first. Bills will eat away at your money and you will never have anything left in your account. Step 7. Acquire, create, or build your first asset that makes money while you sleep. If you've done everything on this list right, you should be positioned in such a way you can finally begin the asset building process. The easiest one is real estate. Uneducated people think real estate is expensive. Why? Because they always think about expensive homes or expensive buildings and just how much money they thought they would need to buy it. In reality, you only need 20 of the money your house is worth to buy it. Once it's yours, you can immediately rent it out. If you're smart, you can clean it up and have the rental income go up. Once you find a good tenant, the house will start making you money every month. But real estate isn't the only cash flowing asset. Publishing a book does the same thing. When people buy it, a portion of the money goes to you. Stocks that pay dividends are the same, but to a smaller degree. An e-commerce store can take orders and bring in money for you while you sleep. Step 8. Use your work money to improve and solidify the income generating assets. By this point, you probably managed to have a steady flow of income from your work as well as your first cash flow generating asset. A common mistake people make is they try to diversify too early. Instead of putting all that money towards starting a third business, take a portion of your investment and see how much more value you can extract from your asset. If it's real estate, fix the roof or the windows, new paint, fix the garden. You know what to do to drive that rent up. For an e-commerce store, it's better design, better advertising, better content. Invest money in your cash flow generating assets to a point where it becomes a solid investment. Only then can you move on to something else. Do not spread yourself too thin. We've seen people screw up million-dollar businesses because they got distracted by a new shiny opportunity and forgot to take care of the thing that was putting food on the table. Don't make the same mistake they did. Step 9. Save money by investing in easy to liquidate assets that also increase in value. You're here because you are looking to never be poor again, right? A crucial part of this process is learning to save money. Look, we know that saving is not exactly a sexy topic, but rich people do it differently. They don't think about this money as savings. You are not saving money for a rainy day. That's what poor people do. You need to do what rich people do. They build an opportunity fund. This is money they set aside for, you guessed it, opportunities. The distinction right here is why the rich keep getting richer and the poor poorer. Let's say a great opportunity presents itself. Opportunities don't care who you are, they just are. Poor people don't have this money set aside, so they can't make a use of the opportunity. Because of this, their financial